Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Hey, good morning, everybody. All right, let's do a review of the watch list this morning. We are going to be on the 5-minute time frame, and the first name we're looking at is SPY. There's a lot of up, down, up, down, up, down this week. So the most recent cycle, yesterday's price action, gap up followed by an opening move down that then recovered all the way back up, that then sold back down. After hours, you get a move back up to that same point of resistance that then sold back down. So we're looking at a slight gap down this morning. What I do see to be really clear is this resistance placed at 691. So I like that for a long level today on SPY. The short level previously I had placed at 685, and basically what I did was from days prior, I took this point of resistance, this point of resistance, this point of resistance that then flipped to support, and I pulled it to the right. See that? So you got 5 instances where SPY's reacting around $685. Therefore, I like SPY short below 685. This way, you know, it's not super tight. It doesn't feel like, I mean, I guess you could go short at 687, but it doesn't feel like I'm being overly aggressive, which means that I could probably give this some room to flex so that if this did do something where, you know, it opens up, sells off a little bit, and then reverses, I'm not getting faked out going short prior to this reversal move potentially happening. Of course, anything can happen, but I like 685 because it gives us distance between where the stock is currently trading at and where that level is at so that we can be sure that direction is established before we take our trade in that direction. So I hope that that makes sense. So SPY will be a long idea above 691, 691, and a short below 685. It's Friday. It's been a tough week. It's been a tough week so far. Going into Fridays, usually I like to size down because you don't need to use as much capital to make a lot of money. But, you know, just be careful out there. Be careful out there if you're trading today. All right, number 2 on our focus list is Tesla. Tesla's had a couple of monster runs, back-to-back, 2 back-to-back big green days. Yesterday's run, so this was a long idea above 438. Hopefully some of you caught this. This is a perfect ascending triangle right here before the break of $438. You get the breakthrough. It does dip below a little bit, but eventually you get the high of day move up, the pullback, and then this is when that higher volume comes in into the midday and end of day session. So we are looking for a follow through on Tesla today from this price action. So let's again on the 5-minute time frame kind of take a look at this and see where we're at. I like Tesla above the whole number at 450. I'm already seeing that this is a slight gap down, but 450 is just a natural, it's a whole number, right? It's like 400, 450, 500, 550. These are just natural points of support and resistance within the market. And in addition to that, Tesla, I mean, it hit 454, but has started to pull back with these lower highs. So a break of 450 not only gives us a reclaim of the previous day's closing price, which is going to be right here, but it also gives us a reclaim of the whole number at 450, which is going to be right there. And it gives us higher highs above this downtrend trend line, which is going to be right there at the moment. So all of these things, this is 1, 2, 3 confirmations to take this stock long here. All of these confirmations converging at a singular point means that it's probably a good level to take a trade around, right? So it's a long idea above $450. I don't think that I'm going to look to take Tesla short today. It just feels really strong. It's kind of been beaten up a little bit on the daily, but it's made 2 really solid back-to-back recovery days. So watching for a break of $450 on Tesla. Here what we'll say is looking for the continuation from the run over the past 2 trading days. And a watch for the reclaim of the 250 whole number. Good morning, good morning. Who we got in here? Maria Castano, good morning. Ocean Alexander, good morning. Andrew, good morning. We got Benjamin Knox in here, good morning. Simon Vez, good morning. Lee, good morning. JK, good morning. Self-discipline, good morning, good morning, good morning. Meta, next one on our watch list. What a move this made yesterday. Pretty solid run here. Yeah, just very clearly, pretty much for the same reason that the same way that we analyzed Tesla is going to be the same way that we analyze Meta. It is pretty much the same exact setup. Meta has been running the past couple of days, right? Two big moves up. It's trading just under a whole number, just like Tesla is. This morning, you're given a slight gap down, just like you are with Tesla. It's a rinse and repeat thing here. So I don't have to go super in depth as to why Meta is high probability, because it's literally the same concept as what we just applied on Tesla. So it's going to be a long above 650, and we're going to rock with that. Easy analysis. Sometimes the simpler you can make your trading plan, the better. And once you understand all of those things that I just mentioned on Tesla, it's applicable across the board on different stocks, so long as that same type of setup is being presented. So Meta, long idea above $650. Again, don't have to go super in depth there because we just did that same analysis on Tesla. AMD, up next on the watch list. All right, here's a little up gapper. Now check this out. AMD is nearing, let's back this up to 20 years, and then we'll go to the weekly time frame. AMD, you can see, is nearing the all-time highs. Look at this run. Run up, pull back, run up, big, massive run-ups and pullbacks. This is not far off from $267. So back to the 5-minute time frame. This is trading at 262.5. So it's an up gapper this morning. Looks like there's a little bit of volume here. I would assume that this is a positive reaction to a news catalyst. But let's take a look and see. All right, so I'm wondering if this has to do with INTC earnings perhaps, or maybe some news, if there's news on Nvidia perhaps. Either way, the stock is up. It's an up gapper. So from a technical standpoint, on an up gap day, usually the stock should maintain above the previous day's closing price. If it's a big up gap like this, usually it should stay above that PDC if this is to indeed continue up. Now, the price target overhead is going to be your all-time high at 267. So we need to make sure that from where this stock is at up to 267 that we have enough profit margin to be able to take a trade. And we do. We're offered 2.7%. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty small. But it is there. So the profit margin is there. So there's a couple of ways that we can approach this. We could probably just go long right above the pre-market high, roughly around 262. You can round that if you want. Or if you wanted to be a lot more patient on this, just go long at 267 at your all-time high. That is really the only two ways that I would approach this. I don't have a problem with going long on this prior to that all-time high because, again, that profit margin from here to there is offered. We're right at about 2% if you go long at 262. And it's Friday, so if we happen to trade the same day expiration contracts, we may not even need a 2% move to get the profit margin that we're looking for. So AMD, long idea above 262. And we're just going to say on watch for higher highs following the morning gap up, and we'll say on watch for higher highs and a run towards the all-time highs. So I just want to put that in there so everybody knows. Following the morning gap up. Great. Now the short level, like I said, usually want to refer to the previous day's closing price on gap up days. So if this gap up truly is to sustain, it should stay above 254. And so that will be our short level below. Okay, up next on the watch list is going to be MU. MU. This one is easy, just like with Meta and just like with Tesla. MU is also trading really close to a whole number. That is going to be a natural point of support and resistance in the market. In this case, resistance. 400 is also, if you go to the daily time frame, your all-time high. Remember the ascending triangle breakout, and MU has just been on a freaking hot streak, running and running and running and running. I hate to include so many of these chip names, if you will, but hey, if the setup's there, the setup's there. I like MU over 400. And again, not overcomplicating the analysis, just making sure that we are identifying proper resistance points. Sometimes the simpler the trading plan, the better. Hood. Next one on the watch list. So I liked Hood as a potential sell-off name today, and let me show you why. Daily time frame, this did sell off, right? Rejected that 50 EMA, so it's been making lower highs on the daily. Here's your lower high into a bear flag, rejection of that 50 EMA, and then sells off into another bear flag, So back to the 5-minute time frame. Hood is going to be a short idea below this uptrend trend line. So if this uptrend trend line is to remain true, the stock should make higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, all the way up, right? And when this trend is broken, the stock should make lower lows. So at what point does Hood start to make lower lows? Well, it's going to be a break of yesterday's low of day, which is going to be a short idea below 105. So Hood, we're watching for the bear flag breakdown on the daily time frame below 105 to continue the original trend down. So this setup, if this works out today the way that we think it might, is going to look something like this. See? All right. Hood, short below 105. Somebody said, let me read the chat a little bit here. Somebody said there's positive news on Nvidia. Okay. Somebody said Nvidia does have some good news. Got it. And somebody said, isn't AMD in Tesla vehicles? And if Tesla is up, maybe it runs with sympathy. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of AMD moving in sympathy with Tesla, but you may be onto something. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I just don't know. I've never back tested those two. Somebody asked, am I trading live today? Yep, just make sure you always refer back to the Discord server. So somebody actually already asked that, SAR10, are we trading live today? And I just said I haven't looked at the market yet, but most likely plan on it. You never have to worry about asking me if we're going to trade live or not. I'm really attentive to my job, and I will always let people know what is going on prior to us doing it, right? Like, I'm just not going to spring something on you and be like, surprise, here we, I'll let you know. So you don't have to remind me to let you know just in the future for future reference. I will always fill everybody in on what's going on. Somebody said, just a heads up, you have Tesla over 250 in the description on the watch list. Thank you. Yes, over the 450 hold number. Yeah, okay. I appreciate that. A little typo, but yeah, this is the one that matters, long over 450. And by the way, I always go back before I post this. At the end of this stream, I do always go back through and double check all of my levels to make sure that they're still accurate before I post the watch list. But yeah, typos happen, so I appreciate that. All right, what do we got next here on the day trade watch list? Focus list is going to be PLTR, Papa Lima Tango Romeo. We're looking for the breakdown of this support at 165 potentially. This setup reminds me a little bit of Hood, where you have a pattern breakdown and then it starts to consolidate, right? So PLTR pennant breakdown that started to consolidate. And if we want to compare this again back to Hood, what do you have? You've got a bear flag breakdown into a period of consolidation. consolidation. So these two setups are really similar in fashion in the way that they're setting up, and they do present a similar opportunity. The only thing about PLTR is that the support is a little more static, whereas with Hood, the support is a little bit more dynamic. But the support here on PLTR is extremely clear. It's 165. A break of 165, I think, potentially sends this lower, and our first price target is going to be 161 below. So our profit margin offered from 161 to 165, over 2.5%. Profit margin checks out. Everything here is good. PLTR short below 165. All right, now what I'm going to do here is just roll through really quickly the rest of the watch list that I've got, my focus list here, my options watch list, and just look at the pre-market. This is where I'm looking right here every time. This is where I'm looking. So INTC, and I'm looking for anything crazy like this, anything that looks like it's crazy gap down or crazy gapped up or anything that I might have missed. INTC has support from here at 46. The pre-market low is roughly around 46. If we go check this out on the daily, below 46, your next support is going to be roughly 44. So your profit margin from 44 to 46 is about, it's plenty of percentage points there. 4% roughly. So do we like INTC for a continuation move? Down is the big question. The stock this morning has already gapped down so much. And we saw this recently with Netflix, right? Netflix had earnings dropped, and then when it opened, we were looking for the follow through down below 80, but when it opened, it rallied back up. And my assumption is this is not necessarily like a bullish reversal, but rather just a pushback against the extreme selling from the earnings. This same thing could potentially happen with INTC today, or maybe not. Maybe this does just continue to dump. So I like INTC below 46, but I don't have, this is not a high conviction setup for me. This is something that would be, you know, if we had to rate our setups A, B, C, D, E, F, with F being like the worst and A being the best, this would probably be somewhere in the middle range. Probably a C setup, not the best setup, not the worst setup. Could it offer opportunity? Yes, but look, the problem with this is if it does open and sell, now all of a sudden you're looking at a stock that is down 15% in less than 24 hours. It feels like a lot of extension. I'm going to put it on the watch list because it is earnings and it is worth watching. But just be cautious about the extension. So INTC below 46. By the way, if anything else hits instead of INTC or over INTC, I will trade anything else. But if nothing else hits and INTC is the only mover that's selling, I will give focus to INTC. So it's not... Again, not my favorite setup out there, but it does offer opportunity, so it is worth putting on the watch list. All right, again, as we're rolling through, we're going to move very quickly here. I'm just looking right here, boom, right here. And I'm looking for anything that looks crazy, anything that looks out of the ordinary, boom, like this, right? Anything that looks like it's gapped up and potentially running. So MU is, Nvidia is gapped up and potentially running. And I believe I saw this in the main chat. Somebody posted the news for us here earlier. Just in, China greenlights Nvidia H200 chip orders. China has told tech firms that they can resume ordering the H200 chips. I thought that this was old news. This doesn't feel like new news to me. I believe that this is something that has been kind of talked about, but I guess now it's officially confirmed. So I'm not sure how much weight this news is actually going to hold for Nvidia, but I do like this as a continuation today. This is beautiful, by the way. This is a perfect bull flag. Check this out. This is your bull flag right here. So typically for a bull flag, it's a bullish continuation pattern. You're going to look for the breakout continuation topside. So there are a couple of ways you could trade this. You could trade it over each one of these lows. So the moment that it makes a higher high, which would be like a break of 188 roughly, or you can just trade it above the peak of the bull flag, which would be roughly 188.5 or 189. Here's a little secret for you. On a stock priced at $188, 50 cents is really not going to make a big difference. 50 cents is not going to make a huge difference. So your level here, it can be everybody's trigger levels might be a little different, but yeah, you can get kind of subjective with this. So if you want to be aggressive, long at 188. If you want to be more conservative, long at 189. If you want to be somewhere in the middle, long at 188.5. I think that I'm probably somewhere in the middle with this one today. So we're going to go Nvidia. Whoops. Let's go Nvidia long above 188.50. And we're going to say gapped up to form a bull flag in the pre-market. Today, we are watching for follow-through from the gap up and the positive reaction to a news catalyst. All right, pretty full watch list so far. We're going to clean it up. We may remove one or add one. Let's keep rolling and see if there's anything else that maybe looks better than what we have. And again, we're rolling through this super quick. Just looking right here in the pre-market session, seeing if we can find anything that looks maybe gapped up or gapped down like crazy, and then we're going to do a quick review of our levels, and then we got to get this watch list posted. I see some of you posting some other stuff, but yeah, we're running out of time here before market open, and we've got a full list already, so I'm going to stick with the names that I've chosen. But yeah, if you see something else on another ticker, and it's high probability to you, then feel free to trade it. Don't let me talk you out of trading whatever you want to trade. I've just got a really specific criteria that I follow for stocks that make my watch list. And I do miss some things sometimes, but I think with the watch list as full as what we have this morning, that I think I'd be okay today trading just what we have instead of trying to add too much. PFE with the gap down this morning. By the way, if you are just now tuning into the stream, you're late. It's okay. This stream will be available for you to play back from the very beginning. So as soon as I end the stream, SMCI, remember this one from my analysis on Sunday? So it is still in play here above 33.5. But as I end this stream today, if you'd like to catch it from the beginning, just exit out and then click on that link again. It'll take you. It should take you right back to the beginning, or give you the option to rewind the stream to the very beginning, and then you can just put it on, 1.5 or 2x speed and get through it fairly fast. All right, let's do one more quick review of all of our levels before we get this watch list posted for the day. So SPY long above 691, short below 685. I think we've got two really good levels here, separating the most recent points of support and resistance. You could be a little more aggressive with the short level at 687. If you think that SPY is going to sell off today, just be careful of an opening move down that then reverses. Tesla, next one on the watch list, long at the whole number at 450. That is the only thing we're looking for. Looks good there. Nvidia, next one on the watch list, continuation from the bull flag formation in the pre-market. Gap up due to a positive reaction to a news catalyst, long idea above 188.5. That one looks good. AMD, possible sympathy play with Nvidia, long above 262. We're also watching for the run to the all-time highs at 267. That's going to be your price target overhead. Short idea at 254. Break below the PDC. We're going to be looking for that green to red move if this does sell off. That's unlikely to happen, but it's worth putting on the list in case it happens. Meta, we're watching for the break of the whole number at 650. That looks good. MU, we're watching for the break of the whole number at 400. That one looks good. Hood, I typed that wrong. Hood, next one on the list, looking for the breakdown of the bear flag on the daily to continue this move down from the original trend, which was down. It's going to be a short idea below 105. PLTR, next one on the watch list, 165 is your static point of support here, shown over the past few trading days, and especially yesterday. That level was hit multiple times. So if this static line of support below is broken, watch out below. PLTR short below 165. Last one on the watch list is going to be INTC. This is a post-earnings trade idea, short below $46. We're looking for the continuation move lower. I would caution you against the extension down, but hey, sometimes earnings calls for really exceptional moves. Cool. All right. I like the list. I think that this is a good list to trade. So let me go ahead and get this watch list posted for everybody today in the Discord server. And by the way, we are trading live this morning. We got good enough setups here. Probably the best setups of the week, in my opinion. And so I think it's worth an opportunity, taking a stab at it and trying to see if we can take advantage of some of this opportunity. Hasn't been an easy week. Hopefully we get follow through. Hopefully we get follow through on at least one or two of these names. All right, here's how you're going to navigate to the live trading. In the Discord server, scroll all the way down to the bottom left-hand side of the server. You're going to see a channel called the Arena. It's under the Voice Channels heading, the Arena. Join into the Arena right here. You'll see people piled in. That is where I will conduct the live trading. I'm going to meet you there in give me about 10 minutes, and then I'll join in over there, and we'll get ready for the trading session this morning. Good luck today. Trade safe. Trade the plan. Don't trade under assumption. Wait for these levels to break first. Wait till you get confirmation first before you take your entry. Don't just say, hey, I'm bullish on Tesla. Let me market buy this long right at the open before it breaks for 450. And then you get pissed off at me because I said Tesla's a bullish setup, but it sells today. You know what I'm going to say? Well, you entered before you had confirmation. So please wait until you get confirmation before you take that entry. Good luck today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions. Hope the analysis helped, and I'll see you over in the Discord server for the live trading. Take care and